So I'm checking out a new area today, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make a video because I haven't had a lot of luck last couple times I've been out. But I just turned the machine on. There's a lot of signals in here, and I found my first thingy bob. It's not like the best thing in the world, but at least it's not iron, and it's not a piece of fence wire or a nail. So this is actually part of a lantern. If you look right in the middle there, you can see that slot. That's where the wick would have come up through the lantern. So that's a good sign. I mean, that's probably, you know, that could be 1900 or so. And that's the hole it was in. It was under the root. I did kind of hit it a little bit when I was trying to get around the root. You can see a little bit of a mar right there, so I have to be a little more careful. I'll go ahead and fill that back in. And we're going to bebop around this woods. It's kind of a nice little woods. It's somewhat open. There's a lot of hedge apples in here, hedge apple trees, so it was probably really overgrown the last decade or two. But we can get through there now, so I'm a little bit excited. I mean, this is kind of a neat farm right here. It's an old farm. I don't see any old dig holes, so maybe we're the very first ones in this spot. That's a good sign, because most anyone should have dug that. So let's get to it. So what I'm going to do is I took my headphones off so that you guys can better listen to what I'm hearing. It just makes it a little easier for me, although it's kind of annoying with all the beeps and bops. I have my discriminator set pretty low, so I want to hear a lot of the iron. But that can be good, because if we are in an area where there's not a lot of iron, and then all of a sudden we start hitting little pieces of iron like nails and whatnot, it could be an indication that we're getting close to a camp or home site. Often that's the first thing you'll hear when you do find a new spot, is the iron, as long as your discriminator is not too high. So I always recommend to hunt with low discrimination when you're looking for places. But it is kind of annoying because you'll hear all this. I had a good signal right in here somewhere. Those grunts are iron. And iron, iron, iron. Right there. No, I'm not sure about that. There was a good signal right in here though, somewhere. Under the root, of course. That could be fence wire. Could be broken up tin. Alright, so that gives you a good indication of what I'm hearing today. I'm not going to keep the camera on a lot, listen to a lot of that, but when I get a good signal, I'll let you listen to it so you can at least know what a good signal sounds like. Maybe a couple bad signals too, because that's important as well. And then we're going to dig some relics. Maybe some gold coins. I hope. This one right here sounds really good. It's reading pretty high on the meter, so I have high hopes for this one. Alright, you ready? Let's see. Alright, let's see what we got. Yes, right there. I was off a little bit, huh? That's iron. Circular iron like this sounds really good on most any metal detector. It really fools it, makes you think that it's a non-ferrous item, but no, that isn't a non-ferrous item. If we had a magnet, that would stick right to it. Okay, we just popped out onto the guy's shooting range. I think we'll just avoid this for a little bit because there's a lot of good signals here. That's his target down there, so it's probably a lot of rifle casings and stuff that I'm hearing, so we'll go ahead and go up here and just cut back into the other side. We were finding a lot of good stuff. I take my time here, but it's not time yet to really slow down near a rifle range. Alright, this is probably good. Well, I think we found our first Civil War relic. I haven't been doing a lot of filming because all I've been finding are like shotgun shells and modern fired bullets. But I just dug something up and it looks like a white patinaed bullet, so it's old. Maybe fired though. I'm not as excited about fired bullets because they could have been fired from a mile away and just happened to land here. Drop bullets are better because that means the soldiers were actually standing here. They could have dropped other things, like when they were fishing for their cartridges out of their pocket. Gold coins might have been in the pockets too, so it could be like paved with gold and silver coins if they were in a hurry to get the cartridges out. That doesn't really happen much, but it could happen. Anyway, this is the bullet. I have not touched it yet. Not sure what it is. Could be a mini. I think it's fired though. Let's look. Yeah, it's definitely a fired Civil War mini ball. You can see the rings are almost obliterated. from the musket, and they jammed it down the barrel. So it was a nice tight fit. And it's got the conical base, classic of a mini ball, and of course the end of it's all dinged up, so you know it's been fired for sure. So first relic of the day. Hopefully there's a bunch more out here. I think there may be at least a couple more of these. There was a bunch of crows flying over. Want to call them? Let's try, see if they come back. They're circling overhead. So if we're hunting him, we could get a bunch of them. I love seeing crows. 20 years ago there were thousands and thousands around, but you hardly ever see them anymore, although the population's starting to pick up. I think West Nile virus picked them off. Yeah, they're still interested in old Mr. Bo. Beautiful birds. Really smart too. Crows make excellent pets. If you ever get like a baby one that's been abandoned, they make just a really smart, and they make great pets. After about usually within a year they want to fly away. So just let them fly away, and they'll come back and visit you for a couple years, or probably at least until they die. But they're just really cool animals. This is a nice little squeaker here. Breathes pretty good on the meter. Hopefully it's another bullet. What I'm going to do first is just kind of kick the dirt back a little bit. That way, if it's a shotgun shell, it will be gone, probably. See? It's gone. So whatever it was right on the surface. And it should be right there. You see it? Must be pretty small, whatever it is. It was in the leaves. As I get the little pinpointer out. Nope, I couldn't find it. Ooh, metal detector doesn't. I guess that's what it is right there. That is, oh, that's kind of neat. Let me turn the pinpointer off. For some reason, it's interfering with the metal detector. That doesn't happen very often, that it interferes with the metal detector, but it did. And I could change the frequency on it and it wouldn't be a problem. But so this is a piece of lead. I think it's probably a fired bullet. Yeah, it's a fired bullet. You can see the rifling marks there. It's probably a chip off of a mini ball, piece of it. You can see how it's got a hollow base, so it probably hit something very hard and broke apart. That's what I'm guessing anyway. Could be wrong, but it's definitely a bullet. All right. We're on a hot spot. This looks like the remains of an old pond or something right here. It's unusual to see ponds in this type of topography, this karst topography with the limestone, because the caves usually open up and swallow all the water. But there's some in here. Yeah, that's definitely been stacked. Look at that. That's definitely stacked stone. I wonder why they did that. You can see the edges right there. There's a lot of dirt piled up. So this was actually dug out by a piece of equipment, I think. Probably not that long ago. But, I mean, those stacked rocks, that's like old-timey stuff. People just don't do that stuff anymore. So that's weird, huh? Neat stone wall. Well, let's go detect it. Maybe they shoved a bag of gold coins up in there, huh? Yeah. Let's go look. What we're going to do is just look around the stone wall with a metal detector for a few minutes. I actually found a beautiful belt buckle, Civil War belt buckle on a stone wall. It was like 7 feet high. It was a really tall one. It was not too far from a barn. And right up on top, the buckle was just laying there out in the sun. You're just beautifully just laying right there. No one had thought to look on top of the wall. And I've heard of bottles coming out of these walls too. Like Civil War era hospital bottles. So what we're going to do is just going to take the machine and run it along here again. I think this is probably a pond, so there may not be anything in here because we might have been standing in water back in the day. Iron, but you can look right there. It's a piece of fence wire. We're not going to worry about that. If it's really big iron, we might dig it, but we're not going to worry about the little stuff. Again, I'm pretty sure this was probably dug out Well, you see, yeah. Look, there's another wall over there. So it's definitely a wall here on the other side. But this is just too wide to be an old-timey pond. And it's just too perfect, I think. Ooh, belt buckle. It's iron. All right, well, let's see if we can get around here without getting too wet. Hopefully you don't mind. It's really my wet feet. Of course, the wall has collapsed here, so there's something. I have to go get my shovel, because of course I left it behind. I'm gonna grab my shovel, which I left back there, and we'll come digging, we'll come dig that signal up. I think it's probably a shotgun shell. It reads like one, but you never know until you dig. All right, I'll be right back with you. Well, my feet are good and wet now, so I've had about enough of this, but let's dig this. It sounds like a shotgun shell. First we'll scrape the dirt back like I showed you. That way if it's right on the surface, you don't have to dig a hole, which makes it easier for us. And it's not as unsightly. It's right there. Yeah, it's right in there. There's a couple things. I don't have the waterproof Garrett with me today, so we have to be a little bit careful around water. Let's see what we got. You see it? Yeah, there it is right there. It's a pistol ball casing. Clean it off. Well, I wouldn't say it's really cleaning off, but I can't read it. I guess that's a 45 probably. I would guess it's probably 100 more right along the edge here. So we're not going to dig any more of those. All right, let's go back up in the woods. We'll save the water for summertime. Just had a little heart attack find. It didn't read real high on the meter, so I wasn't expecting much, but I thought I really had something when I first saw it. Look at that. Looks like a Civil War breastplate, doesn't it? Or crossbow plate, but it isn't. I think that's a lid off of a mason jar, part of the lid system that would fit up inside, and the screw part would go around the outside to tighten it down. Hey. Well, got the old heart racing for a minute. I guess that's a good thing. You can always use that. It feels like snow. We're getting really dark skies and thick clouds. It smells like snow. I don't think it's quite cold enough. It's probably like 40 right now. Well, this is kind of bizarre. I'm walking up along the edge of the property line on this guy's farm. It looks like somebody came across from that field over there and dumped a bunch of trash right in the fence row. Isn't that weird? I mean, I'd have to drive across the field to get here. Look at that. Gosh, a lot of toys. That is bizarre. Ooh, a gun! I found a gun. Why, oh why? I mean, the road is like way over there. I had to drive out in somebody's field to do this. Man, that thing is creepy. Look at that. Wow. Awesome. Plates. All right. This might actually be the find of the day. I'm going to set my stuff down and just kind of poke through here a little bit. See if there's any real guns in there. All right. Let's get to it. I don't know why, but I think it's so sad when I see like little dolls and stuff in the woods all just covered with mold and grossness. It was probably some kid's pride and joy at one time. Some parent or grandparent was probably really happy to buy that for him. Makes you sad, but life moves on, doesn't it? All right, let's see what we have here. I'm not going to poke through it too much, but we're going to look a little bit since we're here. What do you think? What's that? Nugget Noggin would like that, probably. I guess he's not a teenager anymore, is he? Cars, yeah. Look at that, a bunch of toys. Oh, those are sunglasses. I guess not. That thing is creepy, man. That's what you don't want staring out at you from deep inside a cave somewhere. I wonder what that is. A sword! Yeah, kinda is. It's plastic. Well, I don't see anything very exciting to you. Of course, I probably looked right past some really neat stuff. Well, I don't think there's anything really neat in here, is there? Well, that wasn't very exciting. Sorry about that. I enjoyed it though. I'm easily amused. There's some poor little dead critter. I guess that's a possum. What do you think? It's got like white fur. It looks kind of possumish. Yeah, it's gotta be a possum. Poor little dude. Oh, it's soft. Make some mittens out of that stuff. Oh, let's get back and find some bullets. Enough of this possum fur. Now this is kind of a little bit of a mystery. I was still working my way down along the property line, and I saw some bones over here, so I thought I'd just take a peek. You know, figured it was probably just where someone shot a deer, and this is where the carcass rotted. And that's exactly what it looks like. You see some big bones here, and that's I guess a pelvic bone. But notice something weird about them? Do ya? Look, they're cut. That's been sawed. Isn't that weird? Why would someone do that? Oh, yeah, look, here's again. That's been sawed too. Look at that. Someone must have cut it in half or something with a saw and then strip the meat off of it, which is kind of weird because you don't need to saw it if you're going to strip the meat off of it. I don't think it's human, do you? Oh, look. Looks like a face. It does look like a face, doesn't it? Like an alien. Huh. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of weird. I saw that saw mark, and that's just unusual to see in the woods with a pile of bones. All right, back to digging. Well, I just found a little button. Look at that. This is a little flat button. Probably pre-Civil War. I don't think there's a design on it of any kind, but there might be. I'm not sure. Got the shank. That's where the thread would go through right there to attach it to the jacket. Where that hole is. So that's pretty cool. First button in a while. I'll clean it up a little bit, and if there's any design, I'll show it to you. Well, I'll show it to you anyway. There's no design. It's just bare copper right there. So I'll take it. It's a button. 2 bullets and 1 button. A pile of creepy toys. We're doing good. I wanted to show this to you because this is kind of neat. According to the farmer, the owner of this property, this is a big cornerstone that they put in here to mark the property corner. And the original house on this property was built like in the 1700s. The one they live in now is like 1800s, you know, pre-Civil War though. So this big stone right here is supposedly the property corner. Isn't that neat? And I guess it anchors the wall. There's a stone wall that goes down through there. In fact, this entire farm is mostly surrounded by a stone wall, so that's kind of neat right there. This is kind of neat. It's like a deer exploded here. Look, there's bones way down there, some of the big ones. It comes up through here, and you got ribs, and you got his lower jaw, and scapula, and then the skull is over there. Let's go see if it's a buck. I always like to run the metal detector over them. Crows are back. To see if there's any bones or bullets in the bones, but I didn't hear any of that one. Let's see if this is a doe or a buck. I bet it's probably a big doe, huh? Yep. If it was a buck, of course, it would have antlers here, or at least the nubs for the antlers. So that was a big doe. Wow, that's a big skull right there. Oh, listen. It's circling. Not as many though. I think I scared him away. Yeah, I don't think they like us in their woods. Pretty cool, huh? So I'm crossing back over the shooting range that I went over earlier. And there's a target. I was actually back behind me a little ways, but look at this. There's a stone line well right here. Guy never told me about this. I wonder why this is out here. I mean, we're a long ways from the house. It's definitely a stone line well, though. There's no doubt about that. When I came across here, there's a fair amount of iron, but I didn't really find anything good. But I guess we're going to have to slow down because I'm thinking maybe there's another house right here. Because I mean, a farmer's not going to dig a well way out here for no reason. And if it was just to water the animals, I mean, you know, the main house isn't very far away. And there's a big stone line well up there too. So we're going to slow down in here a little bit, even though we're right by the firing range. And see what we can hear. I'm kind of looking for pottery and stuff right now. That's bizarre, isn't it? Got to be a house here. It's got to be. There's another rock here, so yeah, we'll start looking around in here. There are definitely signals around the well. I just found this piece of lead right here. Plus there's a lot of iron. There's the well, and this looks like it's a piece of lead with a hole in it, but you know what? It's almost bullet size, isn't it? Like a mini ball that's been flattened out. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it's possible. When we clean it up, what we'll do is we'll look and see if there's any hint of rings down here or grooves. That's a good sign. Starting to get excited again. Okay. So this well situation has me a little bit baffled. I am finding a fair, well, there's a pile of rocks right there. That could be the chimney pile, very small chimney pile. I'm not finding anything non-ferrous like buttons or bullets or anything like that. Finding a lot of this kind of stuff. This is like a hand-forged staple of some kind that would have gone into wood. So it could have been a house here, but there wasn't a lot of stuff lost. Now I'm thinking that maybe it was the slave quarters. Because big plantations like this would have had areas where, you know, the slaves would have lived, and that's probably their well. And this is kind of back behind the house a couple hundred yards, so it makes sense. And they didn't lose a lot of coins and buttons and stuff, generally speaking, but I'm not seeing any sign of a building other than there's a little pile of rocks right there, so we'll look at that a little bit closer. And I'll talk to the owner this evening when I go in and see if he knows anything more about this area. Because this definitely was something here, because there's a well. Next one will be a gold coin, I promise. I can't promise that either. We'll try though. Alright, so our hunt's coming to a close. I didn't do really good today either. This is the second day on this farm. I think I only have 2 bullets and 2 civilian buttons. I do want to show you something here though that I just came across is really interesting, but before I forget, the next time we go digging, we're going to do something different. We're just going to take a big screen and we're going to do some screening in this foundation that I know about that I think might be really good. It dates back to like the 1700s, and I can see like lots of glass and nails and stuff in there, so it might be pretty good. But before we go, I just wanted to show you this. This is some type of structure in the woods. Now, I've looked all around here with a metal detector, and I'm only finding little bits and pieces of iron, just really small. But if you look at these rocks, they've been stacked in here for some reason, just like this. This looks almost like a walkway here, like they have a wall maybe, and a wall here. And you come down, and it takes a bend right here and goes up this way. I've never seen anything like this. This is really, really odd. And you come into here, and there's a big circular structure right here. It's almost like a fire ring that someone would have camping, except it's huge. So I know it's not that. And the wall kind of cuts across the back. And if you look in the woods here still, that's where that ring is. You can see the outlines of walls here too. It goes there, and down to here, and across. So there's some type of structures in here. I don't know if this was some type of house or cabins or what. And you can see it comes out this way. And again, this is kind of curved, and this is odd. You just don't normally see this where people build houses. And it comes out to here and dumps into this ravine. That ravine actually, to me, looks like an old roadbed. It's sunken down between these fields, so I think that's an old roadbed. No idea what this is all about, and I'm very perplexed about that circle. I have never seen anything like that in any home sites here in America, so I looked around, I didn't see anything. Well, I didn't hear anything with the metal detector. Let me show you what I found real quick, and we're going to hit the road. But the next time we go, if it doesn't snow tonight, we're going to go tomorrow. It's going to be a good day. I really have a feeling about it. Maybe we'll find some marbles, ones I lost. All right, let's take a quick peek at what we found today. This is that lantern piece. One fired mini ball, and I think this is a piece of a mini ball too. This is a flat button, and this is a tomback button. Probably dates to, you know, that probably is a little bit older, could be late 1700s. And that's about it, really. A bunch of junk, a lot of rifle casings from that rifle range. I actually had to dump my bag twice already today. This is a little bottle of medicine, probably veterinary medicine. This is a big chunk of brass or copper. Not sure what it is. And you've seen pretty much everything else. Oh, I did want to show you one thing. This is a modern bullet. And this is as well. And this, you find a lot of these in the woods, and a lot of people may not know what they are because the lead part is gone, and all you find is like pieces of the copper jacket. Like this is just the copper jacket right here. Gives a really good signal. And I had some other pieces in here I wanted to show you, but of course I can't see them now, so we're not going to worry about it. This is a modern penny that I found as well. So, all right, we're going to take off. Don't forget, if it doesn't snow tonight, we got a great foundation. I'm going to bring my big sifter, and we're going to put 5-gallon buckets of stuff in there and sift it down and find some really cool stuff. We hope. I'll see you then.